Hi, Jessica, how are you?
Good.
Okay, let's get started, okay? Okay, so today we are on this C double plus. We'll get started for C double plus, okay? And then before we get started, what I want to say is that for both of you, you need to actually go to work on the solo learning C double plus, okay? There is an introduction to C double plus. This is a solo learn course.
Yeah.
For introduction to C double plus, get started with this one as well, okay? If you want to work on it on Thursday, I mean, if like Benjamin, you want to work on it for Thursday for coding bedtime, you want to do it with this solo learn, I'm actually happy for that. Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
For Jessica as well, if you want to show up on Thursday night, I still have a spot on Thursday to do a solo learn. You can come. Is that okay? Up to you because you're a college student, so I don't force you to do it. In addition to that, if you want to do the coding bed like thing in C double plus, in C we don't there's also something for C, but here I actually would like also to invite you to do C double plus. Okay, and then you may get started with easy introduction, those kind of things. Okay. And then here you do have a lot of things that you can work on. Okay, it would be similar to coding bed in this website called HackerRank. Okay, so that's something you can do if you want to show up on the Thursday for a coding bed practice. In the past, I don't offer coding bed for C level plus students. Okay, but now if you need me, I will try to help. Okay. You should get started with the solo learn. I mean, solo learn give you the basic language. So this one totally we will have 12 chapters in this core C double plus programming essential. This is C double plus one. So basic loops, basic for loop, while loop function call. That is C double plus number one. That actually there are 12 chapters, but many of them similar to C or Java. So we may only teach you 8 weeks. Right now, I'm just planning on teach you 8 weeks on this one, okay? And then after that, we would have C double plus two object-oriented programming. That would be this from chapter 13 to 25. This actually is on object-oriented programming, sorting algorithm, recursion algorithm. This is similar to the Java 2, okay? Okay, so this part we will actually maybe also 10 to 12 weeks on this one. Okay, that's actually is a C double plus two. So this one bring you to some sort of level like Java 2. Then there is a third course on C double plus data structure and algorithm. This course, a lot of material still not fixed yet, but this one had many chapters. Okay, but anyway, we will depend topic on topic for this one, and we will introduce you to competitive programming at that level. Okay, I don't know how much you will go, but we will get started from here. Okay. Okay, so now let me actually review it one more time. This here, let's actually bring up another note. First, let's actually review one more time about the study of programming language and computer science. What you want to learn and what you should learn so far, and what you may want to learn in college. These are a few topics that I want to say. Okay, so this chart is what we actually trying to say here. in high school, we want to teach you C++ 1 to 3, Java 1 to 3, Python 1 to 3. Okay, these are the general programming. And website programming, you have HTML and JavaScript. Okay, that's a different story. But right here, usually we want to teach you at least one language. You need to reach the level of the level 3. Okay, the level 3. And then if you are going to the Irvine, UC Irvine, you would have ICS 31, 32, 33. Okay, this is 33 up to here. Okay. But these two different languages also need that. Okay. And in addition to the programming language and algorithm and programming language and compiler, this actually is one major domain. This is called programming skills. This is one thing that you learn in college for CS. Okay. In addition to that, you also need to learn hardware, software, theory, 4 different branches of the knowledge: hardware, software, theory, and programming skill. These are the 4 basic skills that you will pick up for computer science major in college. Okay. And then beyond that, beyond these 4 categories, we call it core CS. Okay, core CS. So in high school, you pick up 4 languages. You basically pick up 4 languages. So you pick up C++, you pick up Java, you pick up Python, you pick up web design, that actually including HTML, JavaScript, okay, those kind of things. And then you work on the core CS. Core CS including the programming language, hardware, software, and the theory. Okay, these are the 4 different branches of knowledge in computer science. We call it core CS. Okay. On top of these 4 core CS, you will have networking, you will have AI, you will have database, you will have MIS, management information system, you will have cryptography, cyber cryptography. So anyway, these we call it applications of the computer science. You use a computer science basic skill and apply to some certain domain. This is called application domains. So you basically need to learn the core CS first, and then move on to the application domain. Okay, and that is what you will learn in CS major in college. So right here, our main goal for this programming skill is that you continue to do level 1 to 3, and then you learn programming languages and then compiler design. So this one is all problem solving and programming skills. Okay, these are the most important part. Basically, if you are CS major, these are the most important part in college. Okay, and then at least one language you need to reach the level 3. So C++ usually we will teach you data structure and algorithm using C++. Okay, that's the best language to teach data structure and algorithm. Okay. Anyway, that's why we want to do C++. And usually nowadays, C language is used for system programming. For example, if you need to work on the operation system, if you need to work on the software operation system database, those kind of things, you want to make it faster, you usually need a C language. And then if you want to work on the front end website, you usually work on the web design skills, you work on JavaScript, work on the HTML, okay, and CSS as a front end programming. If you work on the back end programming, then you actually will need the C++ or Java, or sometimes use a C#. Okay, if you want to work on database, then usually you need to know MySQL, SQL, okay, SQL language. And then if you want to do data science, statistical data science, then you will need to learn Python or R language. Okay, so these are different languages that usually in different domain that you need to pick up. Okay, and then general purpose language, C++ is always one of the general purpose language. Okay, general purpose language. General purpose language means that a language that you can use for any of the programming need. Okay, so C++ is always one of the options for general language. And you can do any type of the application right here using C++. So C++ has language because it developed very early. So originally you have C language and then C++ like that. And then C++ keep growing, so that C++ is really right now is a monster. A lot of things that included in C++. Okay, so there are a lot of things that you need to learn. And each version of the C++, C++ 3, C++ 14, C++ 11, C++ 17, there are so many different standards, and then they keep improving. Every year they kind of add some more feature into it. Okay, so it is very hard to understand the whole thing, everything in C++. So usually we teach students to based on some key subset of the C++. So don't work on the whole thing. This whole C++ is so huge. You cannot learn everything in C++. So you work on some subset that you really feel comfortable with. So we started with the C language, that with purpose, because we want you to really learn C++ based on C language. Okay, that's our purpose. So learn C++ from C language, you will know that why we want to do C++. Okay, so the original idea of having the C++ is because that C language does not have object, does not have class. So it is not okay for object-oriented programming. Okay, then people think about, we need the object and classes. If we don't have an object and class, it will not be convenient. Okay, so how about let's invented a language that is called C++ with classes. So that's the original name for C++. And later, this language changed the name from C with classes to C++ in 1983. C with classes, I think, started in somewhere around 1980, while C language started in 1970. Okay, so there's about 10-year gap from C to C++. Okay. So Benjamin, why we need OOP? Why we need the object-oriented programming?
I need OP because
What's the main reason that we need OOP?
to so it makes things more structured and organized, I think, right? To make managing things more simple.
But anything you want to do with object, you can do it in C language. You really
Yeah.
do not need the object-oriented programming. But what does this concept of object-oriented programming help you in terms of bring any benefit to the programmers?
I think what makes things more organized, right? Also,
How do you define organized?
like it makes things easier to debug. It makes
No,
things
it doesn't make things easier to debug. It makes things more complicated.
What was I trying to
But
say?
Jessica, how do you think about why we need object-oriented programming? So you have a C language now. Why do you need C++? That's the main reason what I'm asking. Jessica, hear me?
I also thought it was just to make it more organized and maybe like you can reuse code.
Yeah, we use code. That's actually good. But how object-oriented programming make you code more reusable? So you learn Java, you know object-oriented programming. You learn it has inheritance. It has a dynamic binding. It has static binding. You have the so-called object classes, right? You have abstract class. You have interface. Those kind of things are available also in C++, but not in C language. So what do those things bring to you? That's the reason why you need to learn C++. And you cannot just rely on C language. Okay? So Benjamin, can you think about it? One more reason for this one? No?
Still thinking.
So basically it's very easy. You have C++ language, you actually make the library more organized. So your code can be more organized using the C++ language, especially in Windows environment. So in the old days, actually people developed the C++ language and Java language just because they want to do graphics. They want to do Windows. So you need to create a new window. You need to create a new dialog box. You need to create a new event. You need to create a new graphic programming like game design. Then you need to put use the classes. They already designed a lot of code in there, and you can use them easier. So that's the original idea of why we need C++. So this language actually was introduced in 1983. So 1985, Microsoft started to use the Windows #1. So Windows #1 actually get started at that time. So starting from then, people figure out, oh, C++ is so powerful. It actually helps people to organize the graphic user interface much easier. So for a long time, when people design a Windows environment program, people would just pick C++. That's why C++ is so popular so far. That's because in the old days, when people design a game or design a Windows environment program, they will use C++, and they have a library from Microsoft to support them. Okay. Okay, so that's actually is the motivation of why we need to learn C++. Okay, and then since then, okay, Windows programming using C++. And then later, because we need to do AI, we need to do machine learning, so we need to do functional programming. So functional programming also being added to C++ to make the AI rule reasoning much faster. So C++ had an advantage of being the good object-oriented programming language. It also had a high-speed feature of C language. So, and also it support a functional programming. So it also is a good language for machine learning and AI. Okay, so nowadays, this language is still very popular. So I would say they are about maybe 10% of the market using C language, another 10% for C++ right now. Okay. And these are usually those kind of the high-speed programmers domain. People would use that. Okay. And nowadays, there's another language called Rust. Rust is also a very low-level language, actually also competing speed with C++. Okay, but that's another story. That's a new language coming out here. Okay, but in a way, C language is pretty much shared with the C++. Okay, only a very tiny part of the things that not covered by C++. So C++ keep growing. Okay, but when we get started, we usually still teach students starting from C language. Okay. I think it's okay. Okay. It's a basic concept for computer science. I think it's okay. I don't repeat it. Okay. You need to learn these different things, what's wrong, what is when. Okay, especially study computer science, you need to learn that. Okay, this part, I think this one is already old, but the language is still pretty much the same. The Python, C++, C#, Java, JavaScript, SQL. Okay, everything right here, you pretty much need to learn. Still very popular. Okay. Right here, I don't repeat, it's a basic computer language part. Okay. Only one thing I want to cover in this basic programming language part is C++ is purely compiler based. It's different from Java, JavaScript, or Python. So Java, you have a Java language. You do compiler, you translate to that class file. Now we call it bytecode. Okay, it's the class file, and then this is bytecode you run on Java virtual machine. So this portion is compiler based, while this portion is just in time, JIT, just in time interpreter. Okay, so that's a Java. So Java actually has a class file run on Java virtual machine. So Java virtual machine on Linux, on Mac OS, on Windows, they have different Java virtual machine. So basically, your Java language compiled to a bytecode. That bytecode you can send to every different kind of machine, and the machine has a Java virtual machine to run on it. So basically, all of the Java code can be run on different machine. Okay, this is the idea for Java. But C++ is different. C++ do not compile to bytecode. It compile to that EXE file. So EXE is executable file, is machine dependent, or even OS dependent. So if you compile a executable code in Windows, those code cannot be used for Linux. No, cannot be used for Microsoft. Cannot be used for Mac OS. No. So it actually depends. It's a platform dependent. So every platform you need to do GCC compilation again. That's actually a totally different environment. We call it platform dependent. Is that okay? Jessica, is that okay?
Yeah.
Can you understand it?
Yeah.
That means your code that you compile in Windows cannot be used in Linux, or you compile in Macintosh cannot be used uh, in uh, in Windows. Okay, but Java code, you actually those kind of code you compile, actually you can send to people and can still be used. Okay, that's why let's actually look at the let's look at the Python. Okay, so look at the Python. Let's look at the Python download. Okay. So when you download the Python code, when you try to download the Python code, okay, there are different versions. So that's a pick. This is 3.11.13. Okay. So right here, when you try to download, you do have different files, maybe some for Windows, some for AMD 64, different kind of file like actually they provide. This one probably too new, not too many versions. Let's actually look at another one. So let's pick some older version. Okay, anyway, so this different older version, they may have Windows version, they may have Macintosh version, because usually Python interpreter is written by C language or C++ language. Okay, so the interpreter itself is platform dependent. Okay, the language platform is actually platform dependent. So you need to download the right version to install, otherwise it won't work. Okay, otherwise it won't work. So basically, that's the idea that you need to know. The program that you compile in the Windows cannot be run on Macintosh. That's what C++ is. Okay. Next one, we will work on the first C++ language program. Okay. Let's get started. So here I have the chapter 1 on my hard disk. Okay. So that's actually starting to work on the hello.cpp. Okay. Now, now the extension of the file extension now is .cpp file. Okay, it's C++. So originally your C language is .c. Okay, you have the app.c or first program.c. Okay, so now you change it to CPP. Okay, app.cpp. So originally you have .h file for the header file. Okay, let's assume that it's actually called header.h. So now it's still called header.h. If you name it as HPP, that's also fine. You call it header.hpp, that's also fine, still work. Okay. So either .h or .hpp. Actually, I prefer .h. Is that okay? Hello, is that okay?
Yeah.
The header file, you call it H file or .hpp file, either way, fine. Implementation file called C, and now called CPP in C++. Okay, you need to know that. Okay, so this one is actually called hello world.cpp. So now you want to get started. So now you do include, okay, CSTDIO. Okay, so originally this one should be include stdio.h. This is in C language, okay? But here is in C++, so you do C language stdio, okay, something like that. Okay, so int main. Okay, this is the first program we write. A very, very simple version of the C language file directly compiled to C++. That's it. This work. This is the first program we write in C++. So any difference from the C++ is said that originally C language is like that. Now we change to C's STDIO. That's it. That's the only thing that you need to change. Otherwise, any C language can be bring into the C++. Okay. And then if you need the so-called original math.h, now we change it to CMath. Okay. Originally, if you had limits h, now we change it to C limits. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So that means everything that you learn in C language now can be brought into C++. Okay, without much changing, only the input part being changed. That's it. Okay, that's actually just get started with this idea. So that's what I told you. C++ has a lot of things, but when you learn, you need to learn some subset first. So right now I'm teaching you there's a subset of C++ called C. It's just right inside the C sub. So we learn this first. Then we gradually expanding our knowledge in C++. Okay. But we don't want you to learn everything in C++, then you lose track. Okay, you will lose track. Let's get started from small bite, smaller domain, and gradually build up your knowledge more and more. Okay, so that's the first language that first program that we actually learn. Okay, now next one, if we want to write it hello world in more C++ like, okay, let's actually think about if we want to learn it in pure C++ style. So let's call it hello2.cpp. Okay, this time I don't write it in C format. I write it in C++ format. Okay. I have a pen name. Let me rename it. I want to name it hello2. Okay. So this one you need to include, okay, IO string. Okay, this one is similar to stdio.h. Okay. And then you need to use namespace std. This one a little bit similar to import java.util start. So this namespace std is similar to the java.util. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So you are using a library, but it doesn't use the import java.util.start. It's use namespace std. Okay, so that's just use that. Now, next one, you actually have a main program or integer main boy. Okay, this is the same as C language. Okay, so right here, if you want to put in the integer, actually argument count, character, star, argument vector, views, that's still okay. Okay, that's still okay. But we don't do that. Okay, we don't do that. That's still okay. Let's just put the void here to make it easier, okay? Now, the OOP type of output is a CL, okay? Hello world. Window. Okay. This one is the same as printf, the same, okay? But this one is CL endo. Okay, this one is using, not use. Okay, using. Okay, so how can we understand this? This one Cout is console output. So you output this one to console output. So you pretty much print the hello world. And this endl, ENDL, means \n. So it's a change line one. So you actually print this and then print this. So this one is object-oriented programming. So when you actually put this hello world to Cout, the return of this statement is Cout again. It will return an object called Cout. And then Cout, you actually enter the enter to it. It will return another Cout. Okay, this one is an operator. So this operator, we call it insertion. So Cout is actually a output string. Cout is the output string. You insert the word hello world to the output string. What does this mean? This means that similar to Java's system that out that print line. So this is the output string. System.out is the output string. Essentially, it's also console. You console to print line, and you print line out with the right here. You are inserting a hello world to the output string Cout, and you print it. Okay, so this one you actually run it. You get hello world. Okay. So right here, if you don't do enter, let's do something else. Let's do KKK. Okay. And you can put more, you can do exclamation mark, you can do \n. So that means that you output this one, and then you get Cout, and then you output this one to Cout again. You output this one to Cout again. You output this one to Cout. So you print hello world, KKK, exclamation mark, \n. Everything will be printed. So here you actually can continue to do the operator for several times. Is okay? You got this. Any questions so far?
No.
So in a way, let me comment this one out. In a way, you do this. And this. These are two things are the same. So you output the \n for output. You print hello world and change line. This is the same as you print out the hello world and then also print out the endo. Endo is end of line, so it actually also change line mark. You will get the same output. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Jessica, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let me actually copy it to hello 3. How about if I don't do this user namespace? For some reason, I don't like it. Then what happens is like, it's just like you import the Java.util, you don't import it. You don't import it, so you need to give them the domain name of these two variables. Right here, they don't have domain name, so you do see the warning. So you got to give them the domain name. Just like when you do scanner, you don't have a Java.util, then you need to do java.util.scanner. You need to use the whole name. So right here, you also need to have a domain specifier. So the domain specifier is std double colon std double colon. That's it. That you actually get the standard output. Put this one to standard output. Put this one to standard. This is a constant. Change line mark is a constant. That's it. This one you compile and run. It still be working. Okay. Any question?
No.
No.
So what I want to say is that you see C++, you can write in pure C language format. You can write it with the library format. You can write it without library format. They look a little bit different. Okay. So that's what I told you. You have to learn some sort of subset as a standard. Okay, so here we recommend the style 2. Style 2 is the standard way to do C++. Okay. But sometimes some people write it this way, sometimes some people write it this way. Either way, it will work. But you got to learn some coding standard to learn it. Okay. Okay, now next one we are going to do this one. This one actually is a simple program that actually convert kilo to miles. Okay, kilometer to miles. Okay, this program we call it kilo. So we are going to write it in standard C++ format. Okay. So you actually get started with the IO string, and then using namespace std standard. Okay, std means standard. Okay, standard library, and then integer main void. Okay. Now you want to define a constant. So constant, okay, float. Actually kilometer per mile. Okay, that's a kilo per miles. So now you want to actually read in some miles and then convert it to kilometers. Okay, and then output. Okay. So here you would do cout. Okay. But here you want to do print, not print line, because you print this message and you will actually expect for the result. So right here you do semicolon by the way. So you do declare a floating point, kilometer and miles. Okay, these two variable. Now you do cin to miles. This one called extraction. This extraction is from keyboard going into input stream. it extract out the data of the miles in floating point format. So this is the same as what? Scanner input equals new scanner. And then you had a float miles equals input at next double, next float. Is that okay? So this one is get a floating point number into from console input to miles.
Yeah.
Okay. So this portion, let's call it input part. Now next one we will do processing part. You got an input, you want to process it, so your Km will be equal to miles times kilometer per miles. Okay. You got your kilometer, then you want to print out your output. Your output is the distance in kilometer is. So C out. The distance in kms is. Okay. Right here, what you want to remember is this one is output. So you need to put this thing in C out. So it's like this into this. This one is the input. So you extract data to this. You get the data to miles. So it's a C in to this. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So remember these arrows. This one is this one to output, this one to output, this one to output. So you need to do this. Or C in actually is console input, so you actually extract data from there. Okay? So that's it. But this one, because it has the input output, so we cannot do it in the wrong code. Okay, you need to bring out the terminal. Okay, so now I will teach you how to compile it. So now you don't use the GCC, you use a G++. Okay, and then you do your kilo.cpp still dash output kilo. Go. And then you run your kilo. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Any questions so far?
No.
So this one is a simple program with input, processing, and output. We call it IPO. Okay. So far we teach you the hello world of different flavor, and then teach you a simple input, processing, output format data. Okay. And then these are similar in different language. Okay, so we are done with chapter 1. Okay, chapter 1 just want to teach you these different things. Okay, now let's actually create another folder. Let's create another folder called chapter 2. So today we pretty much will finish at least the chapter 2. Okay. As I told you, we are going to probably spend only 8 weeks on C++. Okay. level 1, okay, C++ level 1. We will just spend about 8 weeks on it. Because there are too many things we need to, too much things that we need to learn, okay? So the basic part, we don't repeat it too many times. Okay, next one, we need to get started for the basic program structure for C++. Okay, I'll go through the slides first before we work on the example, okay? So we will talk about the basic program structures, the variable declaration, the string concatenation, the comments, the ID, the basic one, okay, and the functions. So the main function and sub-functions, okay, you have a main function, you have square function, you have cube function. This is similar to C language, okay? So you have a square language, you have this one, this, okay. So the prototype still okay. And then you put your main function right here and your square and the cube lower, okay? So you write a square.cpp in this way, it's still fine. So Benjamin, why you need this prototype? Let's review it. Why we need these two prototype right here?
Wait, are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Oh, I thought okay. Why?
Why you need a prototype? Why you need it in C language and C++ language?
Prototype? What do you mean by prototype?
Hmm?
What do you mean by prototype? Like, why do you need to make a what?
This is prototype. What do I mean by prototype? We teach you in C language already. You got to spend more time on it, okay? Don't wait until people ask you to return homework or doing a lot of intensive study or give you quiz or exam to study. If you continue to do that, you will never learn computer science. So that means you forget about a prototype already. Sometimes you call prototype, sometimes you call header function. So why do we need this?
Function so it's easier to use and
Okay, how about Jessica? What is this prototype being used?
Oh, is it like taking the functions from another like place?
Hmm? From different module?
Yeah.
Yes, that actually is we need that, yeah. But right here, not because of that reason. Right here is because that you put these two functions after the main function. So you need to tell the compiler when you in the main function you compile it, you need to tell the compiler that there are two functions that will show up later. So you need to put a prototype before it. If you move the two functions before the main function, you will not need this prototype. Is that okay?
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
program structure. So let's actually do it one more time, okay? Let's do it one more time by our own typing, okay? So right here, this one is called a square that it will be the same as the textbook's program, okay? I'll just rewrite it. So get started with IO string. So you have the main program. Let's work on the main program first. This main program will need to use the using namespace. SGD. Okay, there's no problem. We get started from here, okay? So let's have an integer a equals 3, and then we do C out, okay? Square of 3 equals square function of 3 of a, okay, let's actually do it in this way, a, okay. And then let's do end of. But right here, this is a square function, you do see a warning because there's no such a function called square. Now if you put the function right here, let's use the integer square integer x return x and x. That will be fine. That will be fine, and then we can run, and there's no problem. That's it working correctly. If you write in this correctly. So let's copy this one to another one. This one called square 2. So you must spend some time to work on a solo learn, okay? You actually need it right now if you want to learn this language. Okay, now if you move this one to the end of the program, okay, and that's save, and that's run. It say that it's square A, you cannot find it because you do compilation, you compile line by line, and you find out it's square, and what is square, I don't know, because nobody tell me what is square. So you have this trouble. Is that okay?
Yeah.
How to solve it? How to solve it is we just put it right here. We put it right here. So tell the compiler there is a function like this. We call it header because it's a function header. We shall also call it function prototype. We shall also call it unimplemented function. This is rename all okay. So this is just to tell the compiler if you see something called square, the square is a function taking integer input and providing integer output. Then it has no trouble understanding. It knows that there is a function that is, but the implementation is later. So we can wait for later to use it. So that's how it works. Now it actually works now. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Jessica, is that okay?
Yeah, why would people not just like put the bottom function on top?
No matter which function you put on top, if you are out of order, then you are in trouble. Right now, because you have the main function and then followed by square, followed by cube, then you actually know that it may have trouble. But if you put your main function right here, and you put the f function, you have a g function, you have h function. If the g call f, they will still create trouble, right?
Oh, okay.
So right here is just an example that if. So what I want to say right here is that C double plus does not suppose does not support out of order function code. That means you have a function you want to call them, you must have defined them. If you haven't defined them, then you cannot use it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So in a way, this one is just to tell the compiler, wait for it. I have another function that's actually will show up later. That's actually square, okay? So right here, you need another one that actually is integer cube. So these are concepts, okay? The code itself is not so difficult. We just need to teach you the concept for C++ language, okay? No out of order function definition. You want to use it, you must define it before you use it, okay? If you have something you will define later, then you have to put a prototype before it, okay? And then a different way to write it, let's actually put it in square 3 CPP. Okay, let's copy it, paste. Square 3.cpp. Okay, so let's look at this one. So let's actually create another one. This one is called it square 3.h. So how about this? We have a square 3.cpp, we have square 3.h. So let's actually put this one, put this one in here. Instead of using it in there, let's actually put it in here. Okay, so here we do if undefined. Okay, put it like this in square 3.h. So right here in square 3, right here, you actually can do include square 3.h. So that actually is the prototype being put into the .h file. That would be fine. That actually is fine. And let's compile this C language code. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So the prototype can be put into the header part, .h file. That's actually, we call it header file. So header file is to tell compiler what we have in this module. Okay, it's always like that. So you can put the thing in header file. If you don't want to put it in header file, you put into the beginning part of the function, the program. That's fine. That's actually fine. So as you can see right here, actually .cpp, you may include in the header definition, you may include in the function definition. But this header part, you can put it into .h as well. Either way, set different file name or same file is actually up to you, okay? But if you put them together, it need to be in this way. If you don't, you can put them into a separate file, then you actually do .h and .cpp format. Okay, that's the program structure that we want to talk about right here, okay? One thing is that there are several functions. You must define it before you use it. That's the rule number 1. Rule number 2, if you don't have a definition, you want to put them into a header file, that's actually fine, but you need to use a separate .h file and you need to include it in your main function. either way, need it. Put it upfront or put it in separate file, up to you, okay? Either way will work. But that's the C++ language, the program structure, okay? We're teaching you the basic program structure, so you need to know how it will work, okay? You need to know how it will work. So this one will work if you need a shortest C++ program that will work, okay? But it do nothing, okay? Okay, this just tells you about the main function structure. So if you move this one in upfront, that is a better style. Usually I don't do it this way. Usually I put the main function at the end. That's my own style, okay? I don't put the main function before function definition. So identifier is a variable name, okay? It's a variable name. Still is starting with a letter or underscore followed by numbers or letters, okay? Same as Java. But function name cannot be longer than 32. Java no limitation. Java can be as long as you want. C++ only 31, 32. Okay, C only 31. C++ 32. Okay. But usually you don't use a variable name for that long. Okay? It's wasting time. So C++ token. Okay, token has ID, keyword, constants, operators. These are basic word. Token is the word. These are both basic C++ words. Okay. Okay. And there are quite a few reserved words. Okay. We don't teach everything right now. You just need to know these are reserved words. That means you cannot use a variable name of using. Say if you use a virtual, that's not allowed. That's actually a reserved word for C++ language. So C++ data type, you have primitive data type, you have integers, you have floating point numbers. So floating point, you have float, double, long double. Okay, this long double same as C language. Integer, you have a char, short, int, long, and Boolean type. Boolean type is a special integer type. Okay. You need to include the std bool to get it in C language. But right here, C++ already set it as a standard format. So true and false, you already have a Boolean variable. Okay. And then the structure type of data, you have array, structure, union, and class. So C language, you have array, structure, union, but no class. But here C++, you have one more type of class. We'll talk about it later in later chapter, okay? So, and C language has a pointer and reference, but C language doesn't have the reference. So these are two are new. Reference and class, these are new in C++. C language have this, 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 this. This one's new. So reference, Boolean, and class, these three are new in C++. Okay. Here we just give you the idea of what are new. This is new, this is new, this is new. Others are the same as the C language. Okay. We'll talk about it later. This one, each of the integer type has unsigned, okay? And you can do C's standard integer .h to get this integer 8 type, integer 16 type, unsigned integer type, okay? This is the same as the std integer.h. Okay, that's what I told you. You got to get started from C language. Okay, otherwise you don't know about this. Okay. So char is the same. Char is 8-bit 1 byte character. Then you have short, that is 16, integer, that is 32. Okay, and then you have floating point data type. Okay, these are the basic idea of the data type. Okay, string type. String type in C++, there is a string type. Okay, so C++ string is different from the so-called C language. Okay, C language actually is using the array character of characters. Okay, and these array of characters, you can put a string in there, but in fact, at the end, you need to put a \0 there. Okay, because C language is actually using array of characters. But now you are in C++ language. They provide a class, string class now. So you can use include a string to create a string. Okay, so this one is different from C language. It will automatically add the \0 for you, so you don't need to know it anymore. Okay, so let's work on this one actually in C language, C++ language. Okay. This one will be the very simple string, okay? We don't intend it to teach you very complicated string. Just to talk about basic string. Okay, so here you need to do using namespace std. Right here, you also need to include string. Okay. Okay. Okay, right here, one more thing. If you don't put the void there. Just do this, okay? Is that okay? No, actually it's
Yeah.
okay. Okay, this one, if you even without the void, in C++ is even okay. That's one thing we want to show. Okay, now let's actually put it here. So I'll put a void back. Okay. Now you're going to declare a string, so you do string. It's called name. You can do it this way. Okay. To create a string, you can put a like constructor type. Put it in the Tom screws in there. That will work. Okay. You can also do string. Okay. A equals Daniel Lee using the equal sign. Is that okay? That actually should be okay. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, you go to string P and then you do curly brace, and then you do Yangbo. So you do not use a parenthesis, you use a curly brace. That should also work. So over the years, C++ is a big collection of different program structure. It's kind of getting too complicated. Okay, so either way work, but we do prefer this one. Or this one. This one will not prefer. It's okay, but okay. Why? Because it's actually not a standard way that we learn language. Okay, it's okay. That's a basic definition of string. That's what we want to cover right here. Okay, that is the string. Now next one. This one actually is lowercase. It's different from Java. Java is uppercase. Now, if you want to know about how many characters there, it's more like a array list. So it actually is a cout. It's the size. Okay. The size, not the length. It's the size. Okay. Okay. They are because it's a class. String is a class, so there are many functions. This is only one function that we show you. Okay. We have index of function at a character at a function, the cap at a function. They have several functions. Okay, we are not right now to teach you what is the function, but just to tell you that it is a class. It's not a primitive data type, it's a class type. So there are tons of the function related to it. Okay, tons of function related to it. Several function related to it. That's the basic C++ string. And then it's different from C language is a string. Okay. So if you prefer the C style string and C style functions for the strings, then you actually can do this. Okay, right? Go back. You can also do include. So you include a C string. So all of the C string type you can use it right here. Okay. If you include this one, you can use all C functions for string. Okay, if you do that. And then you can do character, okay. A array, let's do CS array of 32 equals name that to C string. C string. Okay. Then this CS become an array of characters in C style. This is converting C double plus string to C array of characters. Okay. Why you want to do that, I don't know. I don't know why you need to do that, but sometimes it has the advantage because C language have many functions. Okay, many functions that you can use. But why you want to do that? That actually we will talk about it later. Right now, just tell you how to convert it. Okay, how to convert it back to the C language string. Okay, now it's okay. We just want to show you how to convert it. Okay. Now this one is the constant. Constant is using constant string, constant something. This constant const is the same as the C language, is similar to the final in Java language. Okay, similar to final in Java language. And then C limits, C float. Okay, this we talked about it already. The longest integer and maximum integer or minimum integer. Okay, that is the same. The integer literal is the same for C and C double plus, so we don't waste time here. Escape sequence is the same. Okay. String literal. Okay. This one is more strange, but it will work. Okay, it will work. Let's look at it. Okay, let's look at it. The constant part. So right here, let's do this. Let's do. Let's do this. Let's do. Okay, let's assume that we have a open writing down in this way. This one is okay. Okay, you connect them together. So this one, if your string is too long, you cannot write it in one line. You actually use this one to extend to the next line. That should be fine. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, but right here, you do have a lot of space in between. That's because that that's because right here, you connect to the lens line, but lens line is starting from here to here. That's a lot of spaces. Is okay?
Yeah.
But usually we don't recommend this way. If you need to do that, we would recommend this way. We will recommend this way. Since it's the same, since you do this, is the same. So we don't recommend it. This way, it's better. Then you don't have the extra space issue. Okay, you don't have extra space issue. Any question?
No.
Okay, remember if you need to define a string over line, okay, over one line, using double quote is the better approach, okay? As I told you, C double quote language allow many different ways to write it, but there is a certain subset that is better to use. Okay, better to use in that way. We are teaching you those kind of the set, okay? We don't teach you something that people rarely use, okay? And you can define some standard variable, like standard variables, okay? That's using define, that's still okay. It's okay in C language, it's okay in C double plus language, okay? Now we don't use and the memory model the same as C language. You do have program section, data section, and then stack section. Okay, these are three major sections in C++ language. You still need to remember them. Okay, we'll teach you later about the differences. Given a value to variable. Okay, we talked about how to define it already using assignment. String concatenation, plus sign can connect two strings together. Okay, this is still the same. Insertion operator, you actually put the data to the output. It's called put to. Okay, so this one called put to. Put to. This one is a C out. A, you put the data to output. Okay, or called insert operator. And then this one called extract. From your C in, extract data to A, is write the input a data to A variable. Okay, that's called extract from. Okay. Okay, and we do have talk about the first library you will call. It's called IOStream. Okay. I think that's about it for chapter 2. Okay. This one not much difference. Okay. So we finished chapter 2 so far. Okay. And I think that if we start chapter 3 right now, we cannot finish it. So that's about it for today. Any questions so far?
No.
So
No.
what you need to do is get started with the solo learn, okay?
Okay.
If you want to do it in the Thursday coding practice, you can come and do it, okay? For the solo learn. Or if you want to bypass the solo learn, you want to do hacker learn directly, you can also do that, okay?
Okay.
Start this one. How about Jessica? Will you join or no? Thursday, 8
I'm not
p.m.
really sure yet.
let me know later, okay? If you want to join, I'll put you onto the email list. So we will actually send you the notice every week, okay? We do have Monday, Thursday, and Friday available. Pick one of them. 8 p.m. Okay. For C-level plus coding practice. If you want to do that, if you don't want to do that, you have your other thing to do, it's fine. I just offer you the one more session, okay? Jessica, hear me?
Yeah.
Up to you, you decide it, okay? And for Benjamin, same thing, you want to join, continue the C-level price part in Thursday, okay?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, but I prefer you, both of you, to get started from the solo learn part,
Oh,
okay?
Okay.
Because usually you need to browse through the language first, okay?
yeah.
Before you do the serious coding, okay? Okay, anyway, that's it for today. Good night, then. Bye-bye.
All right.
Great.
Bye,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Cho.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.